My name is Edwin Smith, and my submission for the 2024 biennial is UK Bound. It's a response to a reality that's happening in Bermuda right now. In fact, all of my work focuses on social realities. In this piece, I'm speaking to the reality of how many of our residents are actually leaving these shores to go and live elsewhere. And they are UK bound. They're choosing to leave here to go to the metropole or to the colonizer. I wanted to speak to that. And so I have in this work a pawpaw tree to symbolize Bermudians. Bermuda was uninhabited, and so individuals came from elsewhere. Pawpaw trees too came from elsewhere. And so for me, it's an excellent symbol to use to represent Bermudians. And here, I've tried to show these pawpaw trees being covered over, being packaged to be shipped to the UK in this case. I'm an artist and a designer. In my work, you will always find a combination of the verticals, the horizontals, and the diagonals. Another important element for me is contrast and value. So I must have lights and darks and a whole range of values in between. So here's a work that actually is my response to, as I look around my homeland and I see other individuals, other born Bermudians choosing to get up and leave Bermuda.
This piece is titled How High the Moon. And it is one of a series of moon or night sky paintings or constructions that I've been making over the years. The title for this piece came from a song that I happened to be sung by Ella Fitzgerald called How High the Moon. I've always loved the song, and there is a scale, which is a measuring instrument, and a blackboard that has some numbers on it, which kind of suggest some kind of calculations for how high the moon is. Reflective tape and aluminum, which to me sort of reflect light like the moon does. It reflects the sunlight and we get to enjoy it. And then there's the small man in the picture who is sort of alone, studying the universe and sort of suggesting our position in the world, which is both that we're on a tiny island in the middle of the ocean, but also mostly it's more the thought that we're not the center of the universe, we're just a little tiny part.
So my name is Signe Constable. The piece we're looking at here is called Fennel Way. And they're part of an ongoing series that I'm doing currently entitled Onions, which is all double exposures on film. A double exposure is when you have two photos that are shot on the same square of film, so they are overlaid on each other, and depending on contrast and subject, it will depend on what shows through from each picture. I think for me, and this is just the privilege of shooting on film and doing this double exposure series, is that you don't know what you're going to get, which is something that is terrifying in many ways. I love the fact that there is an element of surprise in that, and I get to plan it, but then I still get to have that magic of how did it turn out in the end, which is scary but fun. So I try not to have too intense an image in my head, otherwise that sort of leads to disappointment in this art form. So with this, I knew I wanted a road, and I actually shot this a few times. I shot it with fennel, and I shot it with Bermudianas, and the fennel ended up being the one that I loved. One of the reasons I started shooting film a couple of years ago is that I really liked how it made me think about the composure and how the photo was going to look at the end. The thing with digital, I have an iPhone, as do lots of us, and you can take a million pictures and you can get the good one, which is a huge privilege, which I also love. But being able to know that you have to take the time, you have to think about it, you have to think about the framing, the lighting, you don't get a million chances. And I felt like that pushed me as an artist and made me think more critically on exactly what I was looking for in the end result. One of the things that I love about Bermuda, I'm a born and raised Bermudian, I love the things that you see every day. And that was actually sort of the beginning of this series. I had some friends visit who were blown away by the fact that we had things like just these beautiful flowers and this lush environment. And that's something that I think as Bermudians we can take so for granted because you see it all the time. So I really wanted to think about how to show that in a different way, and I thought the double exposure really shows you sort of a bit of a dichotomy, and it shows you how, it reminds you on how to look at something with fresh eyes.
My name is Sophie Stubbs. This is my piece Asterix. I took it in Paris when I visited my cousin for the first time. She is lively, playful and very clever. She speaks several languages, some of which I don't understand, so we were both modelling through different languages to speak to each other. I really liked how the light was behind her in this picture to make her dress glow. And my niece made me think of the character Asterix from Asterix and Obelix because of how she was playing with some feathers and put them by her hat to make like the Asterix hat. So I really liked this photo because it was kind of like my cousin was playing with me. I quite like taking pictures of people who look like they're lost in thought about something or like they don't know that I'm there. I quite like taking pictures with my smartphone because I find that it's quite easy to get pictures of people when they don't notice that you're there. It's so quick and subtle that people don't notice that I've taken the picture, and that's how I think I get my favourite pictures of people.
My name is Christina Hutchings, and this is my piece for the Bermuda Biennial titled 5 Lines of Thought. For me, the title of my pieces is important. I sort of think of it as book titles, because usually the pieces I make have some kind of story. And in this case, well, in a lot of cases I use objects that are already made, like for example here, I have tape measures, transistor radio antennas as the supports, and a line drawing on the wall. So each of those has some meaning to me that makes the story. So for example, the line drawing represents a school notebook, lined paper that we all used in school when we wrote notes. I was thinking that thoughts have different shapes. Some people talk in circles, some people are very linear, some people loopy in their thinking. So the tapes kind of represent that. There's 5 different kinds of thinking. Like for example, number 2 overlaps with number 3, so sometimes people's thoughts go back and forth. And the antennas, for me, when I was young, I always had a transistor radio, and at night I would tune in on an AM station to the New York station. So actually the antennas just sort of signify people talking and thoughts being transmitted to one another. When I had a tape measure that I had extended it and it wouldn't retract, and so I folded it up and clamped that piece together, and I sort of really loved the way it looked. It's kind of a combination of expressiveness, which could be more emotional, and then sort of very controlled lines. Probably a part of my personality too, which is maybe keeping the emotions in check or something along those lines. The thing I like the most about this kind of art is well, that it's large and that people can stand in front of it. I think I want the people to go close to it and have it sort of impact them in some way.
My name is Jayde Gibbons. I'm a photographer, and my piece that's in the 2024 biennial is called Rest in Peace. In 1920, the original inhabitants of Tucker's Town were forced off of their land to make way for the Tucker's Town that we know today. Ida Mallory was a broadcaster in the late 80s and 90s, and she had a prominent radio show called Living Memories. One day someone called into her radio show saying that they saw a woman going through the bushes with a bouquet of flowers. And through that call, it was discovered that there was an old grave site at Tucker's Town from when the original inhabitants lived in that land. From that broadcast, it was decided that those grave sites should be preserved, and the site does still stand there to this day. We have a lot of history that isn't taught in our schools or that isn't spoken about, but it's there. We have such a rich history here, and I just encourage everyone to dig a little deeper and do some research.
Hi, I'm DionTheCreative, Dion Eason for those that know me outside of the art world. And my piece in the biennial this year is called Indie Rain. It's a piece talking about what happened on Bermuda Day 2023 when we had that horrible torrential downpour that we thought was going to stop the parade. Thankfully, two Gombe troops came out and they wanted to still perform. They still wanted to walk the route, and I was lucky enough to follow H&H. And my piece is just a film about what that felt like as those Gombes. All right. Do you know why we're here? Did these guys tell you why we're here? No. All right, cool. Clap in front of your face for me. Thanks a lot.
Yo, my name's Van, aka Van Rana, aka Fire Van. I'm H&H is finest. Yeah, I've been dancing for 35 years.
For you, as someone who used to have to make that call, what do you think it was like for the captains and the troop to make the call to still perform in the rain without their costume?
It was it wasn't an easy decision. It definitely wasn't an easy decision because of the tradition and where we come from. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't be showing our faces. We knew that, but we spent a lot of time and sweat practicing. Like we got these guys to a point where they felt comfortable that they was at the top of their game. We made the decision to, and we could have just not done it, but I felt that the people owed something, you know. So we came out. They did scrutinize us for it. We did get scrutinized for it, and then when we explained why and how it came about, it was understood. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Some people still don't take it lightly. They'll be like, you guys shouldn't have. But it is what it is. And we saw it again. It happened again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It happened again when I wasn't dancing. I'm there. I'm saying, but what you guys are gonna do? We're gonna do what we do.
Hendrickson, Troop H&H Gombes. I've been dancing for a long time now. my knees are done.
Talk to me about that decision that went in, because it would have been you, your brother, your two brothers, and Rico that would have really decided on that one, right? Because you guys usually make that decision as a...
Well, yeah, we all make a decision. First it was government that kept calling me. We have a good relationship. They asked me, can I come? Mm-hmm. I said, I don't know, it's coming down hard. Mm-hmm. But I called my brother. He was a little iffy. But one day, it was the one that said, we're doing this. We're doing this. So,
my name's Shawande Butterfield. I have been dancing Gombes since I was 3. I have been beating Gombes since I was 15.
Your role is a little bit different. You was carrying that bass drum all day.
Yeah.
So talk to me about what your experience was like having to beat in the rain.
Definitely a different experience. That's not something that we do usually or on a regular. Mm-hmm. Kind of different for the drummers because it don't cause us nothing to get anything wet. Mm-hmm. So for a gombe suit, to get something like that wet, it's so many things that that you have to do after that. Like sometimes a gombe suit that gets wet like that, it's no more gombe suit. And from top to bottom, gombe feathers get wet. That's hard to dry and stuff too. So for a drummer, On occasions, we will have to just go out, just the drums, and I love that. I love that. For us to go out, especially in the rain, it's not hot, don't have to sweat, and it gives people a different type of vibe in Bermuda. Considering the weather, we still gave them something to make us still feel Bermudaful. So that was something special to me. So where we had the option to still do it or not, I know it kind of went away from tradition and culture, but to give our people something so special like that, that's what it really meant to us as a group, to myself individually as well too.
My name's Kenzo Riley. I've been dancing for H&H for 8 years.
You guys got to dance on Bermuda Day. No costume, no mask, we just got to see smiles. Talk to me about that.
That was a good experience because, you know, we was out of our suit and we was still dancing, but we was all having a fun time. It was like when I was kind of like taking me back a little bit when I was a kid, jumping around in the puddles. It was, you know, it was fun, but we were still having a fun time, you know, dancing and all of that. So it was a nice experience.
My name is Carter. I dance for H&H, and I've been dancing for 7 years.
Talk to me about what it felt like to be out in the rain.
It was like being a kid, just like running around in the rain. So it was just, I didn't feel nothing. I just felt happy, and I just wanted to dance. So.
Rico Trot, dance for H&H Gumbays, and I've been dancing for just under 3 decades.
Who are we? H&H! Who are we? H&H! What we like? Now! What we like? Now!
In this day and age, we don't get to see many, what's the word I want to use? We don't get to see many positive depictions of young black men actually doing positive things, but this is a perfect example of it, right?
Definitely. I feel like because we're always covered up and people don't know who we are, it kind of gets overlooked. How important older men, young adults, how we play a big role in raising young boys and teaching them the right things. It's not always just about gumbays. We teach them life lessons. We try to nurture them with their form. If they need anything, they can always reach out to them. We try to be somewhat like a father figure for them as well, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So this is a perfect example. People get to see like who's actually involved
and the positive impact that you guys are having.
The impact that we actually have.
Yeah.
You can see the kids and how they enjoy it, so there's no doubt that they are actually being impacted positively.
My name is Maze Lavrock. I'm 12 years old, and I started Gumbays when I was 5.
A lot of people are going to talk about this with me today. How do you feel that you got to perform in it?
I felt good. I felt energized, and I felt like we was all energized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so usually when you guys perform, you have your mask and all that on, right? Yeah. So we can't see your faces. But the one thing that stuck out to me is we could see everybody smiling as they was dancing and performing. Yeah. So talk to me about the happiness about being in the rain, being around your people, just being able to go out and dance.
I felt like people can actually like see who we are when we dance, and that like we all like could express our feelings more.
I noticed that when you guys dance, you have your weapons, you have your hatchets, you have your bow and arrows, all of that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. But this year, because of the rain, everyone had umbrellas. I noticed those getting used as your hatchets, as your bow and arrows. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about what that might have felt like if you was a Gumbay in that position, because it doesn't really matter. but from the outside looking in, you use what you got, right?
Well, for me, as a captain, as a leader with my family, it was a good thing because from training, we train with different stuff like raw hatchets and other people got like spurs. So that means the children are paying attention and even learning. So they have to pick up an item, any item. But you see that when they're playing outside anyway, just playing, just messing around, picking up sticks. Reminds me when my childhood, when I was coming up, you know, me and my cousins, just picking up anything and just using anything to dance, gumbays, anything. So it was a good feeling.
My name is Signe Constable. I'm a drummer for H&H Gumbays. I've been a gumbay for 31 years.
How does it feel to carry on the tradition that your family has started?
It's big for me. Like, I'm not gonna let, most of my life, I'm not gonna let this die. I'm here. If it's just me drumming, hey, we're good. We don't need to wait for nobody else. But now I'm proud to keep this tradition going, have my family and my cousins behind me, making sure we keep the H&H alive.
As someone who's not in the day-to-day of the troupe anymore, you still get to impart knowledge and wisdom, and you get to help the tradition stay alive and thrive. Talk to me what it feels like now to see the younger generation starting to take some of those steps that you might have created, and now they're adding their sauce to it.
Oh my God, this is what I trained a lot of them for. So to see them expressing themselves at a higher level at a young age, it excites me. And I big them up all the time and try to keep them encouraged because they don't know that it takes a lot of guys a long time to get where they are right now. Especially like you see my little guy does the on the ground. He's the only one I allowed to do that. I did that one time. He picked that up and did it. I don't even do that no more. I wouldn't dare. That's his step though.
During that downpour, I noticed a lot of you guys were looking to the sky, and there was a bit, I could feel a spiritual thing. Can you talk about that and how that made you feel?
What I think you might be referring to is something that we do for our fallen ones, in particular Papa and Papa Stickers and Uncle Stickers. It is very spiritual because it's just a connection to say we're still with you and you're with us, and we'll never forget you. So what we do is a representation of our ancestors, and that's what we carry on. So we never forget that. We look to the sky, and one into the sky, that's for our ancestors, our fallen ones.
Do you feel like the rain, because rain can be very rhythmic, right? So do you feel like it helped you as a drummer that you can now play off the rain and say, oh, the rain's going to be harder? Let me beat a little bit harder, or let me beat...
Oh, yes, most definitely. Like I said, it wasn't hot, so that played a big difference. I could beat all day in this type of weather. If this is how it's going to be, after the first 5 minutes, everything was wet. So, you know, there's nothing I could change. This is what it's going to be. And the more people that came out, the more I wanted to beat. And when the rain came down even harder, it made me feel like a kid again. You know, when you go outside, your parents tell you don't jump in that puddle. The first thing you do is jump in that puddle. You know, but I felt like it was no restrictions to that. So when the rain came down even harder, it was like it's playtime even more. So, you know, it just made us as a group just hype up even more. The more as the rain came down even harder. So it was a nice experience.
And that's the last question. What does it mean to you to be a Gombe?
What it means for me to be a Gombe. I said it earlier just now. For me to be a Gombe, it means to be free.
I like being a Gombe because I got to keep culture going in Bermuda and stuff like that. And one day I might be able to be a captain or run the group maybe.
Means a lot to be a Gombe. Like I said, we're carrying on a culture that stems way back to our ancestors. So one day, maybe 100 years from now, people will be paying homage to me through Gombes and keeping that legacy going.
What it means to be a Gombe is tradition, culture, and just enjoying yourself.
It means like to free up and dance and just be yourself.
I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm born into this. I was born, I swear my mama tell me, I was born on, 23rd, Boxing Day, came out of the hospital, just finding Gombe in the car. So this means so much to me, even more because it's a family group and it's passed on to me and my brother and my cousins. So to keep the family tradition going feels good.
What it means to me to be a Gombe, it means a lot to me to be a Gombe, to carry on my family's legacy, the culture of Bermuda, teaching young kids how to dance Gombes and to learn how to be from a young man to a male. It ain't just about being a Gombe. It's about learning how to be a man and how to be respectful in the community. So it's an honor for me to carry on.
The biggest thing that I want people to take away from the film is, yes, you get to see Gombes, you get to see them happy, you get to see them smiling, but don't forget the traditions. These guys went out on a risk. It's not something that they should typically do, but they did it because they knew what it meant for the community. So yes, you may see them as Gombes. I can't unsee them as Gombes, but don't forget that Gombes wear masks for a reason and hold true to that tradition.